A nurse uses her last $20 to save a dying homeless man. What she doesn't know, he's worth $500 million. And the corporate assassin who's been hunting him for 5 years has been watching her every move. Welcome to Stories with Mr. Gray. If you love uncovering the truth and standing up for justice, hit subscribe, like and drop the flag of your country in the comments below. At Chicago Memorial Hospital, 11:42 p.m., Maya Thompson was counting her last bills. $23 until payday in 4 days. 12 years as a night nurse, and she was still living paycheck to paycheck. She is tired but dare not to give up. Maya was lost in her thought. That's when a man collapsed through the entrance. The man looked about 55, soaked from the rain, wearing clothes that hadn't been washed in weeks. But something didn't add up. His collapse wasn't from exhaustion or hunger, it was medical. Serious medical. Help? Please. He gasped, blood trickling from his mouth. Someone poisoned me. The intake nurse, Jennifer, looked at him over with disgust. Sir, do you have insurance? Any way to pay for treatment? The man fumbled through wet pockets, producing nothing but a fake ID that said Robert Greene, and exactly $4 in change. Jennifer rolled her eyes. Sir, this is an emergency room, not a detox center. There's a homeless shelter 6 blocks away. Maya watched from across the emergency department as the man's vital signs crashed on the triage monitor. This wasn't drugs or alcohol, this was organ failure. Real, immediate, life-threatening medical emergency. Jennifer, his heart rate is dropping fast. This man is dying. Maya, he can't pay. You know the rules. Maya looked at the monitor again. Heart rate 45 and falling. Blood pressure 80/40. Without immediate treatment, this man had maybe 20 minutes to live. How much for emergency stabilization? Maya asked. Basic ER package is $400. If he needs surgery, we're looking at $50,000 minimum. Maya handed over her emergency credit card, the one she'd sworn never to use unless someone was literally dying. Run it for the maximum limit. $8,000. Maya, are you insane? You can't afford. Just do it. But Maya didn't see that a man was sitting in a black sedan across from the hospital. Vincent Morrison, professional corporate eliminator. He'd been tracking Robert Greene for 5 years, waiting for the perfect moment to finish a job that had made him very wealthy. Morrison picked up his encrypted phone. Sir, the target is at Chicago Memorial Hospital. He's getting medical treatment. Yes, sir, I can eliminate him during the chaos of emergency care.
No witnesses.
Morrison's employer had paid him $10 million to ensure that Robert Greene never lived to testify about what he'd witnessed. But Morrison didn't know that Robert Greene wasn't his real name. His real name was Dr. William Hartley. And 5 years ago, he'd been the chief scientist for Phoenix Industries, one of America's largest chemical companies. Inside the ER, Dr. Martinez was examining the man calling himself Robert Greene. Sir, you're showing signs of severe chemical poisoning. Your liver is failing, your kidneys are shutting down. What kind of chemicals were you exposed to? Doctor, the man whispered. My name isn't Robert Greene. It's Dr. William Hartley. I used to work for Phoenix Industries. 5 years ago, I discovered they were dumping toxic waste into drinking water systems. Maya stepped closer. Sir, you need to focus on your treatment. Listen to me. Dr. Hartley grabbed Maya's wrist with surprising strength. When I tried to report Phoenix Industries, they tried to kill me. I've been hiding for 5 years. But they found me tonight. Sir, that sounds like paranoia. The man in the black sedan across the street. He's been following me for weeks. His name is Vincent Morrison. He's here to finish what Phoenix started. Maya looked out the window. There was indeed a black sedan parked across the street. A man inside watching the hospital entrance. Dr. Hartley, even if what you're saying is true, you need immediate medical treatment. You're dying. Maya. Dr. Hartley read her name tag. I have evidence that Phoenix Industries poisoned over 200,000 people, but the evidence is hidden. If I die tonight, those people will never get justice. Dr. Martinez returned with test results. Sir, you need immediate dialysis and liver support. The poisoning is too advanced for standard treatment. We're looking at experimental procedures that cost $200,000. Maya's heart sank. Even if she maxed out every credit card, she had maybe $15,000 available. Dr. Hartley, I can't afford. Maya, I can pay you back. Every penny. But first, you have to help me live long enough to expose Phoenix Industries. Maya spent the next 2 hours on the phone with credit card companies, taking cash advances and emergency loans. $200,000 to save a man she'd just met who claimed to be hiding from corporate assassins. Sound. Financial transactions, paperwork. Ma'am, this level of debt will take you 25 years to pay off, the loan officer warned. Are you absolutely certain about this decision? Maya looked through the window at Dr. Hartley, now unconscious and connected to life support machines. Process the loan. What Maya didn't know was that Vincent Morrison had entered the hospital through the emergency exit. Dressed as a maintenance worker, he was making his way toward the intensive care unit. Morrison's plan was simple. Inject an air bubble into Dr. Hartley's foreline. Death would look like a medical complication. No evidence, no witnesses, no investigation. As Dr. Hartley underwent emergency treatment, Maya sat beside his bed. During a moment of consciousness, he whispered to her, Maya, if something happens to me, Storage Unit 127 at Metro Storage downtown. The combination is August 15, 1963. Inside, you'll find everything Phoenix Industries tried to hide. Dr. Hartley, nothing's going to happen. The evidence shows Phoenix dumped 50 tons of chemical waste into the Colorado River. The cancer rates in 3 states skyrocketed. They knew it would happen, and they did it anyway to save money. Morrison appeared in the doorway, dressed as a hospital maintenance worker. Evening, folks. Just need to check the medical equipment calibration. Hospital safety protocol. Maya didn't recognize him, but Dr. Hartley's eyes went wide with terror. Maya, that's him. That's Morrison. Morrison smiled coldly. Hello, William. You've led me on quite a chase. Maya, run. Get to that storage unit. Tell the world what Phoenix Industries did. Morrison moved toward Dr. Hartley's foreline, but Maya stood in his way. Get away from him. Ma'am, you don't understand what you're involved in. This man is a terrorist. He's responsible for poisoning thousands of people. That's a lie, Dr. Hartley gasped. Phoenix Industries poisoned those people. I was trying to stop them. Morrison pulled out a syringe filled with air. Ma'am, step aside or you'll become collateral damage. Maya realized this wasn't a maintenance worker. This was exactly what Dr. Hartley had warned her about. A corporate assassin. Security! Maya screamed. Security! Hospital security burst into the room just as Morrison was attempting to inject the air bubble into Dr. Hartley's fore. Sir, step away from the patient. Morrison dropped the syringe and bolted for the emergency exit. As security pursued Morrison through the hospital corridors, Maya picked up the syringe he'd dropped. It was filled with air, exactly what Dr. Hartley had predicted. Maya, Dr. Hartley whispered weakly, Morrison works for Phoenix Industries. They've been systematically eliminating everyone who knows about the chemical dumping. How many people have they killed? 17 scientists, 3 journalists, 2 EPA inspectors. Anyone who got close to the truth. Maya's phone rang. Unknown number. Ms. Thompson? This is Director Patricia Walsh from the EPA. We understand you're caring for Dr. William Hartley. How did you? Ms. Thompson, Dr. Hartley has been under federal witness protection for 5 years. We've been trying to keep him alive long enough to testify against Phoenix Industries. You may have just saved the most important witness in environmental crime history. EPA Director Walsh met Maya at a secure federal building downtown. With her was FBI Special Agent David Kim and EPA scientist Dr. Jennifer Rodriguez. Ms. Thompson, what Dr. Hartley told you is true. Phoenix Industries has been dumping toxic chemicals for over a decade. We estimate 200,000 people have been exposed to carcinogenic compounds. Agent Kim showed Maya photographs of chemical dump sites, medical records showing cancer clusters, internal Phoenix Industries memos discussing acceptable casualty rates. Phoenix Industries calculated that paying wrongful death lawsuits would be cheaper than properly disposing of toxic waste. They literally decided that killing people was more profitable than following environmental laws. Maya stared at the evidence in horror. How is this legal? It's not, Director Walsh replied. But Phoenix Industries has been covering it up by eliminating witnesses. Dr. Hartley is the only surviving scientist who worked on their waste disposal program. Dr. Rodriguez answered her phone. Yes, he's awake. His vital signs are stable. Thank God. She turned to Maya. Dr. Hartley is going to survive. The experimental treatment you funded worked. He'll make a full recovery. Maya, Agent Kim continued, because you saved Hartley's life. We now have enough evidence to prosecute Phoenix Industries for environmental terrorism and murder. Director Walsh looked out the window. Agent Kim, we have a problem. That's Phoenix Industries' corporate legal team. They're here to stop us. 3 black limousines had pulled up outside the federal building. Expensive lawyers in $5,000 suits were marching toward the entrance. How did they know we were here? Maya asked. Phoenix Industries has informants everywhere. Congress, EPA, even some FBI agents. The corporate lawyers entered the conference room without knocking. Agent Kim, I'm Thomas Richardson, Chief Counsel for Phoenix Industries. Any evidence obtained from Dr. Hartley is inadmissible. He's been declared mentally incompetent due to chemical exposure. That's ridiculous, Maya said. He's completely lucid. Ms. Thompson, Phoenix Industries is prepared to offer you $5 million to forget everything you've heard tonight. Maya stared at him. You're trying to bribe me? We're trying to compensate you for your medical expenses and inconvenience. $5 million is more money than you'll make in your entire nursing career. Agent Kim threw a thick file across the table. Mr. Richardson, your clients are under federal indictment for environmental terrorism, murder, and conspiracy. Your bribery attempt just added another felony charge. Agent Kim, you have no idea who you're dealing with. Phoenix Industries employs 50,000 people. We contribute millions to political campaigns. This investigation ends now. Director Walsh's phone buzzed with an urgent text message. Her face went pale. Agent Kim Morrison escaped federal custody. And there's more. Phoenix Industries just announced they're filing for bankruptcy. They're trying to liquidate all assets before we can seize them. Maya realized what this meant. If they go bankrupt, the victims will never get compensation. Exactly. Phoenix is trying to hide their money offshore before we can freeze their accounts. Agent Kim stood up. Ms. Thompson, we need Dr. Hartley's testimony immediately. If Phoenix succeeds in hiding their assets, 200,000 poisoning victims will get nothing. How much time do we have? 6 hours. Phoenix's bankruptcy filing becomes final at 6 a.m. At Chicago Memorial Hospital, Dr. Hartley was sitting up in bed, weak but conscious. Maya, Agent Kim, and Director Walsh gathered around him with recording equipment. Dr. Hartley, we need your complete testimony about Phoenix Industries' chemical dumping program. You have 1 hour before they successfully hide all their assets. My name is Dr. William Hartley, former chief scientist for Phoenix Industries. For 7 years, I supervised their waste disposal operations. Phoenix was dumping 500 gallons of concentrated chemical waste into the Colorado River every week. Agent Kim leaned forward. Did Phoenix Industries know this would cause cancer? They commissioned a study from the University of Colorado. The study concluded that Phoenix's dumping would cause a 300% increase in cancer rates downstream. Phoenix buried the study and continued dumping. Dr. Hartley, do you have documentation of this cover-up? Storage Unit 127 at Metro Storage. Inside, you'll find the buried university study, internal memos discussing the cancer predictions, and financial records showing Phoenix saved $200 million by dumping instead of proper disposal. Director Walsh made a frantic phone call. Get a team to Metro Storage immediately. We need that evidence before Phoenix's lawyers get there. At Metro Storage, EPA agents cut the lock on Unit 127. Inside, they found boxes of documents that Phoenix Industries thought were destroyed forever. Agent Kim opened the first box. University of Colorado study. Projected cancer mortality from Phoenix Industries chemical discharge. 15,000 deaths over 20 years. Maya felt sick. They knew their dumping would kill 15,000 people, and they did it anyway, Director Walsh replied, photographing document after document. Agent Kim's phone rang. Kim here. What? Are you sure? When? He hung up, looking grim. Phoenix Industries just transferred $800 million to offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands. We're down to 4 hours before the bankruptcy filing becomes permanent. At the federal courthouse, EPA lawyers were racing to file emergency injunctions to freeze Phoenix's assets. But Phoenix's legal team was fighting back with every procedural delay they could imagine. Maya watched the legal battle unfold, realizing that her decision to save Dr. Hartley's life had triggered the largest environmental prosecution in American history. Federal Judge Margaret Chun entered the courtroom at 3 a.m. for an emergency hearing. Your Honor, the EPA lawyer argued, Phoenix Industries is attempting to hide assets to avoid paying compensation to 200,000 poisoning victims. We have overwhelming evidence of intentional environmental terrorism. Phoenix's lawyer countered, Your Honor, this is a witch hunt based on the delusional testimony of a mentally unstable former employee. Your Honor, Maya stood up from the gallery. I'm the nurse who saved Dr. Hartley's life. I've seen the evidence. Phoenix Industries tried to murder him to prevent this testimony. Judge Chun looked at the evidence for 20 minutes before making her decision. Emergency injunction granted. All Phoenix Industries assets are frozen pending trial. Bankruptcy filing is denied. The courtroom erupted in celebration. 6 months later, Maya Thompson stood outside the federal courthouse as Phoenix Industries executives were led away in handcuffs. The company had been found guilty on 47 counts of environmental terrorism and murder. The Phoenix Industries case resulted in the largest environmental settlement in American history, announced EPA Director Walsh. $2.3 billion will be distributed to victims and their families. Maya watched from the crowd as Dr. Hartley, fully recovered, addressed the media. This victory belongs to Maya Thompson. Her decision to use her life savings to help a stranger exposed one of the largest corporate conspiracies in American history. After the press conference, Dr. Hartley approached Maya with a check. Maya, this is your share of the Phoenix settlement. The EPA ruled that since you saved the key witness, you're entitled to 10% of the recovery. Maya looked at the check. $230 million. Dr. Hartley, I can't accept this. I was just doing what anyone would do. Maya, most people would not have spent their life savings to save a stranger. Most people would not have risked their life to protect someone they just met. What will you do with the money, Dr. Hartley asked. Maya thought for a moment. I want to start a foundation, the Maya Thompson Emergency Medical Fund, so that no one ever has to choose between bankruptcy and saving someone's life. That's perfect. And Maya, I want to offer you a position. Director of Environmental Health at the rebuilt Phoenix Industries. We're converting the company into a toxic waste cleanup operation. What's the salary? $500,000 a year, Plus, you'll oversee the distribution of victim compensation funds. 1 year later, Maya opened the doors to the Thompson Medical Center, funded entirely by her Phoenix settlement money. The center provided free emergency care to anyone who needed it, regardless of their ability to pay. As Director of Environmental Health, Maya had overseen the cleanup of 47 contaminated sites and the distribution of compensation to 180,000 victims of Phoenix's chemical dumping. Vincent Morrison, the corporate assassin, was serving life in prison for attempted murder and conspiracy. Maya kept a framed photo on her desk. The original hospital bill for Dr. Hartley's treatment, $200,000 that had nearly bankrupted her. That bill had led to a $2.3 billion settlement, justice for 200,000 victims, and the prosecution of the largest environmental conspiracy in American history. Maya Thompson learned that sometimes using your last dollar to save a stranger doesn't just change their life, it changes the world. Sometimes the person you help isn't just a victim in need of rescue. They're a hero waiting for someone to believe in them. Because kindness isn't just about the money you spend or the risk you take. It's about seeing someone's humanity when everyone else sees a problem. It's about choosing compassion when logic says to walk away. And sometimes, that choice becomes the key that unlocks justice for thousands of people you'll never meet.